Hi, welcome to Rallia, building a product planning system for early scale. This is part of a three-part series of sessions with companies that are part of the Breda Product Lab network. And if you are in that program, you know that we will go on after this into a discussion and design stage. But if not, and you happen to run across this video, great, it's free. So feel free to send us your comments, your feedback, contact us if you'd like to arrange for further sessions. And that is part of my little freemium scheme as a product management person. So there's a QR code and the link, veredaproductlab.com/contact if this is something that you're interested in doing. A little bit about me. My name is Renina Leon. I have spent over 15 years in product management and product operations for companies big and small, nonprofits, for profits, ed tech, e-commerce, economic development, and life science industry. So a wide variety of different companies. But I'm really, really passionate about helping companies that are in the early scale period. This is a delicate time. It's sort of like the preteen years of a startup where you are moving largely from a founder led process to building products where the founder is actively involved in deciding what gets built next to a situation where you have new employees to incorporate into the process that have opinions. Probably that first set of customers that you got for product market fit already has very strong opinions of where you need to go next. And there is just a lot on your plate uh, to analyze when it comes to a strategy for going forward. So preteen years, just like with humans, can be chaotic, but it can also be a great opportunity to set the base of what we know as a product-led methodologies in order to, in the future, continue to create products that people love, that are full of value, and are just the right thing for your business to grow. It is tricky, not many people make it up to out of this early stage uh, period. You have about 40% success rate, and there's just a lot of things to keep in mind as your company grows, your organization. New employees need to be onboarded and incorporated into the planning process. You probably have a current version of the product that you want to continue to sell as you create new features and probably expand to new markets or bigger customers, depending on the direction that you're going. And there's just the overall cultural shift of delegating and incorporating views from other parts of the company when it comes to what we build next. I came into this problem a few years ago where I took over the product leadership role for a startup that was going through this period. The founder, who was definitely not the dude in this photo, but you get the idea, he had created a very successful version one of the product through extensive customer conversations and had, to his credit, landed a number of, dozens of initial customers as part of that product market fit drive. The problem that is that inadvertently in that process, he sort of created what we call a sales driven roadmap where new product functionality was getting produced or planned out as the sale was going on. So new functionality was often, waved as a carrot in order to close the sale, and the roadmap was sort of writing itself and being rained on in the rest of the organization every time a deal had to be closed. So you can imagine all the problems that that can create. You might need to do that perhaps as part of like that sort of product market fit initial period, but after that, you get problems with, for example, customer success people who are very frustrated with the fact that customers are coming in with the idea that they have been promised some functionality, and even when that functionality gets delivered, the roadmap is already somewhere else based on the next sale. So There's no opportunity to sort of incorporate learnings, refine the product. Onboarding times are through the roof since it is sort of there's a ballooning effect on functionality. You have a retention problem. So there is a lot of dissatisfaction in customers who sign up and then kind of go through this experience of like kind of set it and forget it. We're off to the next sale. Um, so you can imagine that's a problem. The voice of engineering is largely absent in these organizations as well because, again, functionality is getting rained on the team. There is little input as to whether something is feasible, even from a technology perspective. Chances are version one hasn't had a chance to have developed in terms of performance, in terms of robustness to support scale. So again, tons of problems. And end users at least, where do I even start? That is what I'm thinking, probably what they were thinking. I cannot describe the confusing web of disconnected features that had been built to comply with the sales promises, with complete disregard to the end user experience. So finding your way through this application had become a maze within itself, and a lot of people simply used it once, disengaged, and would never come back. So again, we had an end user retention and an engagement problem. Customer finally as well, when it came to the paying customers, were also getting disengaged, and all stemming from a poor product planning system. So the sales-driven roadmap resulted in what I call the Frankenstein app. So in this case, it was pretty scary, just like you can see in that picture. The good news is that I was able to coach this team through not only a design cleanup of this Frankenstein app, but a better understanding of product planning through the approach that I will share with you today. And if you will join me, is this another process? I won't get you into another process. The important thing is the mentality, the alignment. As your startup is growing, chances are that even if you create a process, you'll have to revise it many, many times in order to adjust to how your organization is growing and who needs to be in the loop and what goes where. So this is not about the process. This is really about how we think about product planning. That's the reason why I call it a system. Whenever you're planning for products and creating a roadmap, you have to keep in mind, number one, scarcity. There's a limited amount of resources, so we cannot just build everything at once. And when we talk about resources, we're talking about people, money, and just in general time. There's also dependencies to keep in mind. There's new departments, new people, existing customers, new customers, and new markets you want to go into. There might be investors in play. So all of those things are things that product managers or product leaders in general have to manage. And thirdly, there is impact. There is a larger impact whenever everyone is rowing in the same direction and there's a clear understanding of where everyone needs to go next. So if you think about the stages of product planning, we're really thinking about three main stages, and we're going to talk about a fourth later on. But the first one is problems, where you define what are the problems that the organization as a business wants to tackle. Second comes opportunity. How do those problems break down into opportunities that the company may pursue? And thirdly, solutions. How are we going to create functionality, products that solve those problems and get to the outcomes that we want? So in the problem stage, what we have is executive leadership that is defining a narrative in consistent intervals of time, be it every quarter or every 6 months, but is creating that cadence of narrative. So saying, where are we going? Where is this? How does this business need to grow? Do we need to pursue new international markets? Do we need to increase our retention? Do we need to improve our lead gen numbers? That is where strategy comes into play, such that everyone knows what the KPIs are, what are the goalposts that we need to go after. Then we go into a discovery of opportunities. And if you're a product manager, this is your time to shine in breaking things down. We often use tools like opportunity solution trees, or later on for prioritizing those opportunities, we might use something like the RICE score. Opportunity solution trees look like this. They're made out of outcomes that correspond to that top level narrative, opportunities, and then there could be various levels of opportunities or just one. It's okay either way. Solutions that the team puts together, the product team puts together as experiments, and then finally the experiments will yield a final product that suits the outcomes, the purpose that they were set out to solve. We can go in depth into the opportunity tree in future sessions, but for now, just know that also when it comes to how do you prioritize the opportunities that you're going after, you can use your own scorecard, or you can use something like the RICE scores, which standardizes reach, impact, and confidence over effort, and you would then want to pursue the opportunities with the highest RICE score. And finally, solutions. I would hope that you have had some exposure to things like Agile or the concept of thin slicing and iteration. But this is basically where our technical implementation team, the combination of engineering, product, and design come together to create solutions around the opportunities that have been discovered. Also, you'll have other stakeholders such as product marketing or go-to-market teams that will be an integral part of that process. And wait, there's more. Like they say in infomercials, there's also an evaluation phase. Everything that we do eventually needs to go back to, did we solve for the outcomes that we talked about at the beginning? Were we successful? And if not, what do we need to do in order to get there? And in the end, everyone wants to see a roadmap. There's tons of solutions and applications out there for you to build roadmaps. I can recommend you some offline. But in the end, you can even have a spreadsheet. The important thing is that you have a visual of how you will tackle these problems over time. So I highly recommend a problem-based roadmap or objective rather than a solution one. And if that is difficult because people are thinking of roadmaps still in the project and sort of Gantt chart kind of way, you can think about other ways that you may depict where your company is heading and what would you do based on different scenarios. And one thing that we like to do here at Vereda is combine roadmaps with the decision tree tool. That creates sort of a situational mindset of, if we are successful with this opportunity, then great, we attained the outcomes that we wanted. If we were unsuccessful, what are we going to do? How are we going to pivot? And what does the world look like in those scenarios? So we're going to wrap it up here, but know that all of these concepts are things that we can touch upon in a live session that we're happy to bring to you in the future. So do contact us, veredaproductlab.com/contact, and keep on building. Thank you.